Hey, what's up, high flyers? Today we've got another High Gardener video for you, and we're going to be showing you how to plant seed to soil. The first step towards getting our cannabis plant in the ground and growing is germination. And what I have here is I've got 2 plates. I've also got this seed. This is Auto Skywalker Haze from Dutch Passion. I chose the auto specifically because I know in about 12 weeks I'm going to have weed. And given the time period, that means the middle of the summer when I'm going to be enjoying it the most. Inside of these plates, I've got a wet paper towel. Now, as we've mentioned in other videos, we want to make sure we don't use water from the tap. Water from the tap might have chlorine in it. It might have other contaminants in it that actually prevent the seed from germinating in the first place. So what we're going to do, I'm going to separate this out here. I've actually got it folded, so I have 2 layers of paper towel here. I'm going to take the seed without touching the seed. I'm just going to let it go right there in the middle. And I'm going to place this back over top and put the plate on top. Now we're going to put this in a place that is dark and also, we'll say warm, not cold, not hot. Something between 15, 16 C and 25 C will be just fine. And we're going to come back in 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 days. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, depending, of course, on the temperature and these other things. So we're going to leave it. We're going to come back to it. And we should have a taproot about this long ready to go in the ground. All right, guys, it's been 4 days. Let's see what we've got going here. And that's beautiful. We've got a perfectly germinated marijuana seed ready to go in the ground. Now that we have a germinated seed ready to go, we need to choose the container size that we're going to be using. I've decided to go with an 18-liter container. Now, because it's an auto flowering, and I like to give 4 liters of space per month of the plant's life, I really need something in between 15 and 20, so I think this 18-liter is going to work just fine. The next step is to create a bed of clay balls, or hydroton, at the bottom of the container. What this is going to do is it's going to aid in the drainage and make sure that it's not getting too compacted. We won't use this entire bag, I don't think. I think we'll probably use about half of it, but we'll see how much it takes. Now we're going to add our soil. I've chosen a soil that is particularly rich in peat moss because I like something that has that spongy texture. It's also got some perlite in it, which is going to help with our drainage, but I'm actually going to mix more of these hydroton balls inside of it as well. For the first step, I'm just going to get some dirt in here. I'm going to fill it up maybe about halfway, 3/4 of the way, and then I'm going to actually start mixing in these balls because I want to give myself plenty of room for mixing. And I'm going to mix quite a bit of these in here. I really like to have good drainage. We might add some more here in a minute, but for now, let's get mixing. Of course, we want to well mix this, but at the same time, we don't want to disrupt that bed of balls that we have at the bottom there, that bed of hydroton. Okay, we've got this pretty well mixed up. We're going to mix it up a little bit more, but first we need to hydrate the soil. Now, the goal here is actually to give more water than we really need and to just let it drain out. So I'm going to put quite a bit of water in here. And as we mentioned before, this is not tap water. This is bottled water that we're using. There's a few different options. You could use distilled water of some sort. You could use bottled water. You could also get a reverse osmosis machine, which is probably in the long run the cheapest option and my favorite option. Now we're going to give this guy some help. We're actually going to start mixing it ourselves. Make sure that everything is mixed well. We are going to add just a little bit more dirt to this, but not much. Make sure we get this well mixed in. It's important that we don't end up with any dry spots in the soil. And also, obviously, drainage, one of our bigger priorities. All right, now I'm not pushing down. I'm evening out the surface for myself, but I am not pushing down. We don't want to compress things. So now we're just going to let it sit, maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it needs, as long as it drains well, and we don't have any extra moisture. Excess water means that we might end up getting the seed lost in the soil. It also means the seed could drown in all of this excess moisture. So obviously we want to prevent that. We're going to let it sit for as long as it needs, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get this germinated seed into the earth. Now that we've given our soil time to drain, we're going to plant our germinated seed. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our little finger, and about this much of it, just this little tip from the first knuckle, we're going to poke a hole into the soil. And in that hole, we're going to put our germinated seed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make sure that I put it in the right orientation so that the seed is facing up and the taproot is facing down. I'm just going to move the soil now around that. And we're good to go. Now that we've got our germinated seed planted in our soil, we have one last step of preparation. I've already taken this product from BioTabs called Microtrex, and I've mixed it with about 200 milliliters of water. Remember, we don't want much moisture right now. We've already completely saturated this thing with water, but we're going to top dress it with this solution. It contains bacteria that have a symbiotic relationship with the roots, and this is going to make sure that our roots grow nice and robust. What I'm going to do is, rather than putting this water directly over the seed, remember where you've put the seed, I'm just going to go around it. And this is going to be a bit of a top dressing. You can go slowly if you need to, but make sure you're not drowning anything or losing the seed as a result of putting too much moisture, too much water at once. So we're going to take this, we're going to put it in a sunny part of our terrace, and then in about 2 weeks, you should see a plant like this. A nice and healthy juvenile cannabis plant that is going to produce us some awesome ganja. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel and you like us on Instagram. And if you have any ideas for some cool new videos, any things you want to learn, please let us know, send us a message, and you'll see it in the next video. Stay high, guys.